Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Superstars of Wrestling review series. If you need life, business, or even entertainment coaching, please go to my main channel, Golden Opportunities Coaching. I'm doing great things and helping people break through in 2021. But here, we're going to talk about the October 2nd, 1993 edition of Superstars. I don't know why they only added um, just a pet peeve of mine, but if you're going to add, at least finish off the month, right? So either end with the last episode of September or finish out October. I'm annoyed that they didn't finish more, but maybe they just added 10 episodes on purpose, or who knows. Anyway, um, I'd love to see them add, all of 93. Actually, I'd love to see them add the whole run, but I don't think they legally can add 86 through 91. The guy owns there's an independent guy promoter that owns the logo or the Superstars of Wrestling name or something, and they changed it just to Superstars around 92, and it's a whole big debate. Anyway, uh, Steiner Brothers against Chad Miller and Tom Bennett. Steiner Brothers, former tag team champions here. Of course, the Quebecers back on the chase. Steiner's really, to me, come in kind of flat here. I mean, they're only, maybe 8 months into their run, 9 months into their run, and they've already had the belts, lost the belts, and they're gone by early 94. Big, uh, you know, overhead suplexes, and then a pump handle by Scott Steiner. Steiner, I'm sorry, but Scott Steiner's never been a guy that I'm a huge fan of because he's so unsafe. I enjoy watching the suplexes from an ouch perspective, but you couldn't get me in there with him to begin with. Rick seems to me to be more safe. Now, I could be being fooled by that, but very few things that Rick Steiner does make me scared. Anyway, Steiner hits the running move into kind of the gutbuster type maneuver. Scott Steiner comes back in. Another suplex dominating the enhancement talent, kind of pulls the guy up. Odd to see, I think it was the last time or maybe the time before that, but within the last couple of times, the Steiner screwdriver that Scott became famous for at the end of his WCW run actually debuted in one of these enhancement matches. Might have even debuted sooner, but first time I ever remember seeing it was one of those enhancement matches. Anyway, Bulldog from the top rope, Rick Steiner, and again the Steiners get a victory. That really doesn't mean too much. We go to an update. Shawn Michaels, in fact, has been stripped of the Intercontinental Championship due to not fulfilling contractual obligations. We mentioned that last week or the week before. There will be a Battle Royal on Raw. They're really pushing the heck out of Raw. Raw is still in the good years. I'd say the last really good year of Raw, at least in my opinion, was 1997. By mid '98, it was just Crash TV, and I hated it. Um, but '93 through '97 is a guilty pleasure of mine. And Ludwig Borga and Sonny Rogers up next here. Borga basically bullies Rogers around, hits some punches, hits some knees, basically gets whatever offense he can, snatches his opponent up, hits a vertical suplex, the hanging style a la Davey Boy Smith, drops him, and there we go. And then we see him, he's got kind of red paint on, mocking Tatanka's hair. I think that means that the Tatanka getting laid out probably happens within the next month or two here. Maybe, I don't know, but certainly a feud with Tatanka has to be on the horizon. I remember they did feud for a little bit. Looking back, I don't know that Tatanka losing to Borga was the right move, being that Borga didn't work out, but who knows. Anyway, front forward slam and a torture rack, almost like Lex Luger used to use in the WCW days, for a victory for Borga, and he dominates his man. Basically, we do a face-to-face. The Undertaker is challenging Yokozuna, says he wants Yoko and he wants the championship, and he will soon rest in peace. Then we go, Fuji and Cornette are unimpressed with all of this. Gary Jackson and IRS up next. They also are plugging the Radio WWF thing. which is a ill-fated, maybe out by 94, 95. I think they did it for like 2 years. Believe Jim Ross said on his podcast that it was greatly his idea because he'd done radio while in WCW, wanted to bring that to WWF. Anyway, body slam by IRS and manages to hit a sliding uh, elbow drop, other things, locks him up, very basic stuff. Anyway, takes him over, and again, IRS getting every advantage he possibly can, works over the leg a little bit, doesn't get all he wants, crimps the leg, takes Jackson out just a little bit, and ultimately IRS gets the flying clothesline and the victory here. Then we move to Undertaker doing a PSA about kids not doing drugs. I kid you not. Hilarious. Worth going out of your way to see if you've never seen this before. Bam Bam Bigelow and Rod Bell. Bigelow already kind of losing his steam a little bit here. He manages to come back in time for 1995 with the LT thing. Not that there's nothing for him to do, but I really do think they missed the boat on a guy who in Japan was probably one of the bigger talents of the time frame, and I still think Bigelow could have been more to the company, but it just kind of didn't happen for him. Anyway, kicks and punches by Bam Bam. Bam Bam uses his power. Luna on the outside doing her screaming thing. I don't know that Luna was fine in the ring, and I've never met her, but everyone that met her said she was a lovely lady, but I don't know that the Luna character ever hit her stride in the WWF. Cartwheel to the back of the head, diving headbutt, and Bigelow with a win. Doink the Clown basically pulls practical jokes on Bam Bam, beginning the babyface turn, which is probably executed within the next couple of months here. Marty Jannetty and Steve Moore. Jannetty kind of, I don't know, maybe lacking direction here. I think he's gone again by sometime in early 94, comes back in time for 95 or 96. Just, Marty's a guy that never really could stay in the WWF very long, and it really does bother me. Just, I find it sad because I think if he'd had a sustained run, he could have done a lot for a lot of guys. Anyway, clotheslines, body slams, basic stuff. Marty tying his man up pretty simply, and then the enhancement talent takes him back to the corner. He hits a couple of shots. Marty does a good job selling for the kid in terms of facial expressions, maybe not going down for him as much as he should, but the match is competitive, which again tells me if you're giving an enhancement talent a competitive match, why, is Marty on his way out even here in this point in 93? It just doesn't make sense to me to give competitive matches to guys that you don't have long-term plans for. Leaping back elbow by Jannetty. Jannetty manages the vertical suplex, snaps him over, and ultimately Irish whip, ducks the clothesline, and shot there. Jannetty with the rocker dropper, actually the move that broke, I think his name is Chuck Austin's neck, gets a victory there off the top rope, fist drop, and 1, 2, 3, there we go. The Heavenly Bodies against Reno Riggins and John Paul is what's going to close us. Odd that we close with a match this week. Just strikes me as odd, but maybe there's a segment that they don't include in the run. But anyway, I mean the Heavenly Bodies certainly are still a good deal here. They're still a big deal in Smoky Mountain and remain such for at least another year maybe. Maybe not a full year, but close to it. I know they were still with Cornette at the Night of Legends, which was August of 94. Anyway, side headlock by Riggins. Del Rey proving his value. Kind of goes up and around, allows Riggins to flip over him. And even does the hip toss. Del Rey bouncing around for him, and then hits a backslide, does Riggins. And ultimately, finally, it's a clothesline by Del Rey. Dr. Tom comes in, shrugs off a drop kick, then hits a hanging suplex. Heavenly Bodies for the time were what I would consider a moves team. Big drop kick under the chin by Del Rey. Del Rey comes back in. Really kind of a dominant guy. Snapmares the guy over in the corner and tags off to Dr. Tom. Dr. Tom comes back in. If you ever have the opportunity to do a seminar with Dr. Tom and you're a wrestler, ballet, commentator, anything, do it. Tom is so knowledgeable. Anyway, drops the backbreaker and then taunting by Jimmy Del Rey. Del Rey actually taking more of an active role in matches. Inside out, flip around clothesline. Del Rey with the moonsault gets the victory there, and ultimately, kind of we end with a face-to-face that is rather inconsequential. The Quebecers brag about having the tag belts and how they're going to keep them on for the next several years. We will be back with more right after this.